Support comes from Troy University's Trojan Cafe, offering handcrafted Starbucks beverages and a wide assortment of meal and snack options. Located on Troy University's Montgomery campus, across from the Rosa Parks Library and Museum.
From Troy Public Radio, this is the Newswrap, and I'm Carolyn Hutchison. The legislature is grappling with election issues, and Todd Stacy, host of Alabama Public Television's Capitol Journal, discusses the special session that's underway. And the Wildcard is about pets, mechanical pets, that is. Todd, welcome back to the Newswrap.
Good to be with you.
This has been one wild week with the weather. How did it affect everyone in the State House?
Well, yeah, the legislature's back in Montgomery. Governor Ivey called them back for a special session having to do with the congressional map and the state Senate map. And yeah, there was a big tornado warning on Wednesday. Well, the Senate was in session, and every senator had their phone go off, and it was crazy. Even though the tornado never developed, flooding developed. And the State House has always been prone to flooding and flooded the first floor, which happens to be where our studio is. We did not have water damage, but cars were flooded. But it made for a very dramatic day. The State House was evacuated. Just as it was being evacuated, just at the last minute there, the Senate voted to pass their version of legislation, essentially setting up a special election should the federal courts allow the state to revert back to the maps that they passed back in 2024.
Is the legislature still tangling with this issue today, being Friday?
They are, and it's probably going to get final passage today. And so there's lots of states around the country that are pushing redistricting. That's not what's happening here. They're not actually drawing maps like other states are doing. What they're doing is setting up a special election for Congress and for the local state Senate district here. Those two maps that they originally passed back in 2023 were thrown out by the courts. The federal court said, no, these are unconstitutional, and so they threw them out, and the courts actually drew the map for Alabama. Well, ever since the Louisiana case was decided, Calais, a little more than a week ago, that struck down race-based map making. And so essentially what Alabama is saying is, based on that ruling, the maps we passed back in 2023 should now be constitutional. So they're asking the court to allow the state to revert back to those maps, and these special elections would only go into effect if the court actually does that. But the court has not ruled on that yet, and they may not. This whole special session, if the courts don't do what the state is asking them to do, then it's all for naught. That's a strong possibility.
We need a wild card after all of this.
Yeah, we do. We need to lighten up. This one comes from the Associated Press. Everybody's familiar with the Roomba, the vacuum cleaner that's a robot and it goes around and cleans your house. Well, the same makers of that have developed a robot pet dog or cat. It's the same kind of concept. You can pet it. So we love our pet. Apparently, in the very near future, there'll be an opportunity to have a robot pet. So I'll tell you, I'm going to stick with my Toby.
Toby is tops. Todd, who is on Capitol Journal?
Going to be talking with State Representative Chris Pringle, the sponsor of the House bill that we're talking about here. State Senator Marika Coleman. She has been an outspoken opponent of what's going on. Also been talking with Jay Mitchell. He's the third of the three candidates that we've interviewed for Attorney Generals. Looking forward to having him on the show as well.
Todd, we're looking forward to tonight's Capitol Journal, 7:30 on APT, Sunday at noon, and on YouTube. Thanks for the news wrap today.
Very in-depth tonight on Capitol Journal, so it's a good night to tune in. Thank you.
Joining us for the news wrap was Todd Stacy, host of Alabama Public Television's Capitol Journal. More information can be found at the aptv.org website. Thanks for joining us for In Focus, which is a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Carolyn Hutchison, and this is listener-supported Troy Public Radio.